Now let's look at all the triangles that have 30 and 60 degree reference angles. So each of these makes an angle of either 30 or 60 degrees with the x-axis. The way to figure out the exact x and y coordinates, and therefore the exact cosine and sine values for each of these, and there are a lot of them, is to make a little drawing like this. So let's pretend we make a triangle that extends in both of these 30 degree angles. So if we go 30 degrees in the counterclockwise direction, 30 degrees in the counterclockwise direction, we have made a 60 degree angle here. And so what that does is it creates a 60, 60, 60 triangle. That's because this side is 1 and this side is 1. So you know this is an isosceles triangle, which means these two angles have to be the same. And since they have to be the same, and we know the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, which isn't a fact that's come up before in this class, but it happens to be true. We know that that has to be 60 degrees, and this has to be 60 degrees. How does that help us? Well, it helps us because we know this is 1 here. So if we extend this line all the way over to here, this is 1, this is 1. This whole distance from here to here is also 1, which means the side of this triangle here has to be 1/2. So we end up with 1/2 is y, and then all we need to do is find the x direction using the Pythagorean theorem. So we know x squared plus 1/2 squared equals 1 squared. So we'll go down here with our algebra. X squared plus 1/4 equals 1. X squared equals 1 minus 1/4. X squared equals 3/4. X equals plus or minus √3/4. But again, here we are in quadrant 1. We know x has to be positive, so we'll just say x equals √3/2. So we know that the cosine of pi over 6 is √3/2. The sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. So we can fill that in for the rest of these 30 degree reference angles because, again, we have the same triangle repeated over and over again here. Here's one, here's one, here's one, and so on. So we know that these measurements of 1/2 and √3/2 are going to be repeated. We just have to pay attention to the positives and negatives. So quadrant 2, x is negative, y is positive. Quadrant 3, they're both negative. Quadrant 4, x is positive, y is negative. So go ahead and fill those in. Now, what about these other ones I haven't filled in, these 60 degree reference angles? So for those, we just observe that we have the same triangle once again. This is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, but so is this. This is just 60 degrees here, and then the 30 degrees has to be here. So again, we have these same numbers repeated, except now the x's and y's are going to switch. So the x here is 1/2, which you can see it literally meets the 1/2 on the x-axis. So that means cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Sine of pi over 3 has to be √3/2. So now just repeat these same numbers again and fill in these signs. So again, in quadrant 2, x is negative, throw a negative sign out front of that. In quadrant 3, they're both negative. And in quadrant 4, the y is negative and the x is positive. So that's how to find the exact values of all these trig angles for pi over 6, pi over 3, and their multiples in the unit circle.